So this video very much relates to one of the videos that I made recently when it came to DEI being removed from like a lot of companies. And I gave my reasons of why that a lot of these companies are starting to move away from DEI and the reason why they got so much of backlash of it. And obviously when it came to DEI, it was related a lot to like, you know, the way people identified and the LGBT community. And one of my main reasons was that because they were getting kids involved. When it came to DEI, it was getting kids involved in trying to push the LGBT and trying to push the weight of different ways to identify onto kids. And that is why I think there was such an uproar when it came to that and getting it out of the public space. And this here is such a great example of why people have gotten such a sour taste in their mouth when it comes to a lot of this stuff, where there was a teacher just here in Australia, which makes it even more fucking disappointing to me, because whenever I hear about a ridiculous story, it's always in the States, and I'm always like, you know what, at least it's not my country. Unfortunately now, it is in my country. It's not here in Victoria, but it was up in Queensland, where a teacher was identifying as a cat, going as far as asking people to identify her as Miss Purr and asking kids to purr for her so they could get a lolly.
Have you heard about the teacher cat? Yes, there is a cat at a school in Queensland. I should say there's a teacher at a school in Queensland who identifies as a cat. And they've just found out that you're not allowed to identify as a cat while teaching a class full of students. And this is unbelievable. One mother alleged that the teacher made her daughter purr for a lolly. Apparently, she wants to be referred to as Miss Purr. And this has now made it around the world, this story. It's been published in the Times of India and the New York Post. And because the school didn't fix it, the parents were blowing up on social media. One of them said, I want teachers who I can rely on to teach my kids what they need in life. Someone they can look up to. How can a student respect a teacher acting and walking around with animal ears? Well, that's a fair question. The Queensland Education Department has confirmed this. They say Marsden State High School is aware of parents' concerns. This behaviour is not acceptable in Queensland state schools, and the principal has addressed it directly with the teacher. So I'm glad we've cleared that up. I don't know what the rules are in other states as far as cat teachers are concerned, whether they're allowed or outlawed. But in Queensland, school teachers who identify as cats are not allowed to in front of a classroom full of students. Welcome to the weird and wonderful world of 2025.
That's right. This is all true. I'm not bullshitting. You thought I was talking shit? No, this actually happened. All these things. I mean, there's even, like he said, there was uproar on social media from parents about the things that this teacher was getting students to do, the way she wanted to be identified. And like I've said many times in the past, and like my thought brain is thinking, and this is for many people as well, I think that this is the general public, is that when it comes to what you do at home, what you do when no one's around, do whatever you want. If in your daily life you want to dress up as a cat at home, power to you. Do that. Go ahead. Put your little cats on. Get your partner or your sexual fetish person or whatever to call you Miss Purr and to purr at you and all that kind of stuff. But when you're out in public, in front of the rest of the world doesn't revolve around you, okay? It does not. And this is why people have gotten such a backlash on these communities, because you come out not just in public, but you're a teacher and you're doing it in front of minors. This is ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. This is one of the reasons why the furry community has had such a bad word in so many years. Like, I remember years and years ago when the furry community started to become a bit popular on the internet, they just like kept to themselves. You didn't know about them in public. You could walk past a furry, you could be working with a furry, and you didn't know, because they kept it on the internet, they kept it at their house, or whenever they had their little furry con, they'd go over there and meet other weird ass people as well. But now they're going ahead and doing stuff like this, to the point where now they're doing it in front of kids, and they're even trying to get kids involved. This is 100% crossing the line. And this is where it links back to my video about how Disney and Google started to remove DEI, and one of the main reasons of people's backlash, it's because they get kids involved. Like, I'm pretty sure the lanyard that she's wearing in the classroom is like a rainbow flag lanyard, which, I mean, a lot of people who are in the furry community, they are either allies of the LGBT or they are like in that community themselves, and they just bring a bad word to these people. That's all it does. You're doing harm towards your community. Do whatever you want at home. Stop bringing kids into this. And to me, the thing that made it even worse is for the fact that the school at first did nothing. It took parents' outrage for them to do something. I'm sorry, but if I'm a teacher, a principal, even if I'm a substitute teacher coming into that school and I see this, I'm reporting it straight away and I'm saying this person needs to be removed from this school. They are not fit to teach at this school. If I don't know how the principal knew that this was happening, because there's no way in hell that the principal didn't know this was going on. There's no way that other teachers didn't know that they were going on. And I bet there were some teachers there at the school that even saw this, but were too afraid to speak up against it because they were afraid that they'd get some kind of backlash and maybe lose their job, which they should 100% not. Because if you're doing stuff like this around kids, you should 100% be reprimanded for it and lose your job. And thankfully, I did actually hear that this person is no longer working at that high school. And you know what? Usually when it comes to people and them losing their jobs, it's just like I've lost my job in the past. I lost my job because of performance reasons. You know, they felt like, you know, the role that I was doing wasn't good enough. And you know what? That's absolutely fair enough, but I definitely deserve another job. But if I was doing something like this at a job where I was like identifying as a cat in front of kids, you don't deserve a teacher role. This person should be blacklisted from any school possible without a doubt. You should not be allowed to work anymore in front of children. This is fucking ridiculous. Absolutely stupid. And like I said, and I'm going to reiterate it so many times because it's true, all people like this do is harm the communities that they are in. If you just are at home and doing your thing and don't bring it out into the public, especially in front of kids, that's fine. Then people will be fine with that. People will be fine if they find out. They'll be like, oh, do you know that this person, when they're at home, they like to, you know, dress up as a cat? I'd just be like, oh, I don't care, whatever. They do it at home. It doesn't really matter. But when you come out in public and do it, that's why it's a problem. That's why it's stupid. And it's making this world ridiculous. This story was completely wild, completely stupid. I'm glad, I'm annoyed that it took parents' outrage for something to happen, but I'm also glad that something did happen about this situation, because you should not be doing anything like this in front of kids. But that's going to be it from me. I would like to hear what you have to think about all this down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.